Three, two, and one. And we are on. So, welcome everybody to the IKONICAL show, which I'll find more things down the road coming. But all these little things that I'm putting together, the Bliss and That show is slowly making its way out. So you'll see this video is a little choppy and everything, but eventually we're going to get to better audio, better video, everything like that. So right now you only have the audio version, which is on Spotify, iTunes, basically anywhere you can get a podcast. And we're aiming for the moon and back. That's what we're aiming for. So, but without having guests like the ones that I've had, we can't do that. We can't really shoot for the moon if we don't have the stories to do so. And without that, we don't have stories to tell and a platform to be on. So I'd like to thank everybody who has participated in, the changeover and helping me out with basically everything. It's a one-man show. So be patient. Lots of gratitude and appreciation towards everybody. So I appreciate everybody. I do want to speak about a new sponsor that we have, Norse Hall. If you go to norse-hall.com, they have, I gotta say, I'm not a big hot sauce guy, but they have some of the best hot sauce. And there's only so much heat that I can take. And I love the fact that they actually have something that I can relate to, something that frankly doesn't make me pretty much shit my brains out. So that's always fun. But it can go on anything. I know people that mix it with other things and put it on salad. I know people with chicken and steak and all this other, but it's perfect for me. But then you have some of those people that want the hot stuff, right? Like the ultimate let's make sweat come down your forehead. Let's make your let's make your hair wet type of people that they want the challenge and they have it. They have the couch burner. They have the demon. I mean, you name it, they have it. So I would check out norsehall.com, norse-hall.com. And without them, this show doesn't continue. So, but with that, we have a guest today that is down the food realm. And shockingly enough, I met him at a barbecue and we got to talking. I had a podcast and I started following his Instagram, and his Instagram is awesome. Like it's just food, 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 and you're talking to like the right guy. Like if anybody knows me, I'm a dessert guy, and it was just one of those things where I said, "Wow, he's going here, he's going there, he's." But in intricate detail, he would really show you kind of the things of the food and where he's going and what he's doing and kind of, I'm going to try this in particular, or I'm going to. And for all the foodies out there, I know everybody is excited to hear about somebody who can actually talk about food, rant about food. And so without further ado, we're gonna bring on Jason Bover.
Hey Brian, what's up?
My man, what's going on, dude?
What's going on?
How are you feeling?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So again, audio, video will get better as I increase, and people wanted video, so they got video now, and you are one of the first pretty faces to join the show, amongst I think like three people. So.
Well, I can't wait to share with my followers on Instagram and Facebook. Right now I started Ulster Eateries Unfiltered group. We have 7,400 members. We just specialize in Ulster County. Restaurant reviews, posting menus, trying to get people out to eat. Kind of started over COVID, trying to help local businesses and stuff. They needed it. But I tell it how it is. So for better for worse. So I don't know if that's always the best for a local business if I don't really like the food, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So
No pun intended.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But they say
I mean,
there's no such thing as bad publicity. I think.
no. On the other end, man, like you don't want to send one of your friends to somewhere that the place just sucks. Like if we're gonna be honest, right? Like
Oh
you don't
yeah,
want to send someplace that where the food is terrible, the chef didn't really put the love inside the meal, right? That hits home, and that's something that's really really important to people who actually. I mean, everybody's built around food, right? If you think about it, it's a comfort in some cultures, and if you're not really filling it with love and good flavor and good taste, then what are you in it for?
that's exactly how I described it. Yeah. During COVID, a lot of restaurants were struggling and they were getting unfortunately lazy and trying to, prices were going up, so they're trying to cut corners. And even though it's a global pandemic and people are struggling, um, still want to try to find the best food you can find, and not trying to get the frozen off the truck Cisco chicken tenders and French fries. I want that homemade fried chicken in a pan with that love, like you said, the extra time, the extra effort that it takes to make something delicious from the heart. Share a meal with your friends, not just something that comes out of a bag or you know, pour some nacho cheese on some French fries. That's got a lot of love. Even though I
I
love,
mean, it can taste good for a little bit, you know what I mean? But I mean, like, when somebody makes that difference. Let's just talk about the cheese for a second, right? Say you have somebody that just like nails the nachos, right? But the cheese sucks. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess it's okay, right? But if they can nail the cheese, then the entire thing is just like, okay, yeah, it's a winner, right? You know what I mean? And it could be something as simple as that, you know?
but then again, I love Taco Bell. I love Popeyes. I love a good quarter pounder with cheese from Burger King. I don't discriminate. But my favorite restaurants are holes in the wall dives. Uh, a little dirty, rough around the edges. But just because I love that kind of stuff doesn't mean I'm not going to seek out the best I can find,
Yeah.
regardless of what the place looks like. Or there's a time and place for some sloppy nachos and a greasy burger, and like a baseball game or some ice cream. Those ice cream places always have like fries and burgers. And are we allowed to curse on here?
You do whatever you want, my friend.
All right, all right. I'll try not to drop too many f bombs.
You can drop as many as you want. It's YouTube. YouTube has given us the freedom to do basically whatever you want, right? So,
So
but
I
speaking of like,
want to interview you for a second.
shoot.
So what's your story? How'd you get into podcasting? Like how did you start all this?
So there was a time when I had some, like my job was kind of giving me a little bit more leeway of time, and 103.1 was actually trying to get somebody new for the morning show. So I applied for the morning show host, and they said they were only going to get one person. So 47 people entered you know, the job listing, and I made it down to the top three. And they said they were going to pick one, and they ended up picking two. And unfortunately, I was not one of them.
Okay.
But at the time, they were talking about. You remember Cecil the lion? Remember that big story about, I forget exactly what
I
had
heard
happened
the name,
in particular case, but back in that time, they're talking about the Kardashians and all this bullshit, and it just wasn't for me. Like I didn't want to talk about that, So it was a blessing in disguise. Like I made it from 40. Like in my head, like God's pretty much telling me, hey. you're one of the top 3 out of 47 people, so you have something going on here.
Right.
And I said, well, I would love to do, you know, this kind of work, but find out real stories, real things that are happening, and the meaning behind these things. So I kind of kept digging and kept digging and kept digging. And I said, you know what? I want to interview people. I want to interview people. I want to ask the questions that I've always wanted to ask people if I could just sit down with them for 20 minutes. I always say if you could sit down with somebody for 10 minutes, you could sit down with them, for at least an hour, because 10 minutes you can get an easy conversation started, and that can always lead to stories and experiences that have happened. And I always have a who, what, where, how, when, and why of after the first question into the second and third. So that's kind of where it started. And after that, it was a logo, and I was blessed enough to have, you know, designers around me, graphic designers, to help me put stuff together. And then after that, it turned into the Bliss and That show. And the Bliss and That show kind of ran its course, and it set me up now for obviously Iconical, to where there is a clothing line and better interviews to come. Like I have a lot lined up, and that is where all these new things come in. Like I'm a regular person just like anybody else, so that's why you see a choppy camera, right? Like I don't have the best things in the world to go with, but we are going to take it to another level, and it's just gonna take hard work. It's just like anybody else. Like you have gotten to where you are right now because you weren't lazy about it. So that's the story behind where I am now and how I got there.
Nice. So is some of the best things that ever happened in my life were blessings in disguise. Or wait, is that how it goes? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Blessings in disguise. Yeah.
Like some of the worst things that happened to me always turn out to be like the best blessings. I walked away from my full time job last year that I worked at for 19 years doing a beverage distribution, which is how I got a lot of my connections with local restaurants because I was delivering them their drinks and going in the back door, going in the kitchen, friends with the owners, friends with the chefs and the people taking the deliveries. And I walked away from that, and it was scary. And I just focused on I'm a full time wedding photographer. I've been doing it for 13 years. My wife was fully supportive. She said, "Go and do what your passion is." So I dove in headfirst, full time photography for the first time, and I started this food group. And within the first week or two, we had about 1,000 members, and it's been growing steady ever since. And now we're, let's see, about 18 months, and we have 7,400 today, and it's just growing. And I get an amazing response from everyone, and I going in restaurants and people are recognizing me, and people just want to talk about food and hang out and just so many new friends. People are inviting me. I went fishing for striper with one of the members the other day, and I met up with somebody for dinner last week, and it's really cool. And I also, just like you, I started selling some merch. So I got my this is "We Are All Influencers" T-shirt. So it's
That's pretty
me.
dope. I like that.
I'm taking a picture of some food with my cell phone. So anybody can be an influencer. Anybody can take a picture of your dinner with your cell phone, post it online. So
That's actually you taking the picture of that, right?
it's actually one of my friends, but
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I
I
had to
mean,
I had to take the picture of the person taking the picture. But, but
so the question I have, I guess, is like, when you what was the fear behind you kind of going after? Was there a fear behind you going after something that you haven't done before? Obviously, it was something you've done before, but you haven't actually tried to go and make it solidified in your life, right?
right.
So how did that feel when you had maybe that comfort of your wife saying, "Yo, fucking do it"?
I know it's great, right? Luckily, she was the big breadwinner at the time, so she had me covered. So she was like, "Look, we're much better off with you stepping away from your full-time job. It's causing too much stress. So go do what you want to do. I believe in you. You can do it." And it's just been working out, baby steps, but um, it's taken off. It's pretty cool. I got some big stuff I haven't announced yet. Um, I'm announcing next week. I might announce it tonight. I don't know.
People may have to stay tuned.
No, I got some other stuff I haven't even told you about.
Oh, I like this. I like this.
Right. So I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Keep going.
So part of our group is we have monthly get-togethers, kind of like a supper club. Once a month, we get together, hang out, eat some food, and the way we pick where we're going to meet is once a month we vote on who has the best. We pick a different subject. So who has the best ice cream this month? Who has the best burger this month? Who has the best tacos? Who has the best barbecue? Who has the best donuts? And then we put up a vote. 7,000 people vote, and then whoever wins, that's where we go and we meet for dinner or breakfast or ice cream or whatever it is. So this month was barbecue for Father's Day, and Hickory Barbecue on Route 28 in Kingston won Best Barbecue in Ulster County. So I reached out to the owner. We set up a get together. It's a Wednesday night next week on the 28th. And we just put a bunch of tables together, hang out, shoot the shit. It's all about networking. It's all about just building friendship. Eat some good food, and I'm gonna announce some stuff. Anyone who shows up there is gonna get a free gift from me. I've never done that before. Also, we're coming out with, this is breaking news. We're coming out with an Ulster County discount card. I've got 35 restaurants on the discount card. 10% off most of them. Salt and Fire, Yum Yum Noodle Bar, Kingston Candy Bar, Half Moon Donuts. Jesus, there's so many.
You're about to get everybody fucking hungry right now.
Sorry.
No, I mean it's the whole
Backward
point.
Market. Lunchbox in Kingston.
I've heard of Lunchbox. What is Lunchbox?
Lunchbox is the smallest restaurant in Ulster County. It is
Really?
It's like a closet, and this guy is really chill. He's a really nice guy. He just hangs out there all day, cooks you up food on his little griddle, and it's probably like rent's cheap because he's hanging out in the closet or whatever, and food's good and it's made with love, just like we're saying. He really puts his I can't think of his name off the top of my head, unfortunately, but he's always hanging out with people, talking. He's a really nice guy. That's in Uptown. So for the discount card, it's called Ulster Eateries Unfiltered VIP. It's $10 for the rest of the year for the first 6 months. We got 35 restaurants, and then we have a discount for a t-shirt company, a photographer, and my new coffee company that I'm launching next week.
Nice.
So that's the other news. Yeah, I'm coming out with my own coffee. So it's all synergistic. It's great. Like the photography, taking pictures of food, my love of coffee, and it just all works together. It's all, I'm just building brick by brick. And the discount card's $10. You can pick one up at ulstereateriesunfiltered.com. Then next year we'll come out with new cards. Maybe some new restaurants will jump on. Maybe some will hop off. But
what is that? What is that website again?
ulstereateriesunfiltered.com.
Ulster Eateries.
Unfiltered.com. Sorry, I've got 3 dogs that want my attention.
You said unfiltered.com, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You see the full list on there. I'm super stoked. It's going to be incredible. Come on. Um, and then that discount card is good until December 31st. Then after December 31st, we'll come out with a discount card for 2024. So big plans.
And those are $10, you said?
Yeah,
That's not bad. I mean, I use for 35, you
here
know,
it is right here. Look at that, the foodie card.
you can't go. Wow, that's actually pretty dope.
QR code comes up with the list of the discounts. I'll mail it out to you. $10. Salt and Fire's on there. Slices Pizza, Main Street Bar and Grill in Saugerties, Josie's Coffee Shop, Accord Market. There's a lot. You'll check them out. My Photography's on there. 10% off a photo session above weddings. 10% off.
See, this is the greatest thing about these things is I can start to put this stuff up now, and that way it just that way people can start going on there now and buying them. So
yeah, no doubt.
But I'm still new to this whole technology bit, so little by little we'll get better and better. Um, I'll leave that. That's how you spell it, though, right? Ulster Eateries Unfiltered.com.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like
check
it.
Out. See if it works for you. It's not technically live yet. This is just this is breaking news. It goes live July 1st.
Screenshot this, people.
I'm announcing it on the 28th at Hickory Barbecue. I've got 3 dogs running around me right now.
That's all good, man. We had a couple coming in here, in and out, more like the size of a horse. So
yeah, well,
yeah,
because I'm home alone, they won't leave me alone.
Well, you need the attention, man. Need the attention.
Once my wife, they'll go bother her. But yeah, so I'm coming out with a coffee company. It's called Tiny Dog Coffee, and because all my dogs are tiny.
You have no idea what that just did for the show. Once you bring dogs and kids into shows, game changer.
We just got our 3rd Frenchie 2 weeks ago, so he's a rescue. We have all rescue dogs, and
okay,
we love taking care of them. But my house is a little bit of a circus.
That happens, man. So what? So you go into. Let me ask you about the first time you actually had passion for food.
Oh man. No, it's great. I've been thinking about this for almost 2 years now. I didn't even realize it at the time. But I didn't even realize it until I was like 40 years old, and I was thinking back. I'm like, why am I obsessed with food? And it started hitting me over the head. Like, I grew up in the food industry. My father started a beverage distribution company 39 years ago. Eccentric, non-alcoholic beverages that you can't get at your normal grocery store. 39 years ago, organic was like rare. Like getting something that was natural, or even bottled water wasn't even popular like in the 80s. So we were one of the first people to carry like vitamin water, Smart Water, Fiji Water, Reed's Ginger Beer, Virgil's Root Beer, Saranac, Stewart's, After the Fall juices, Knudsen juices, all these health food stuff that you'd see in a health food store, which within the last 10 years or so now, all grocery stores have like a health food section. But that wasn't the case 20 or 30 years ago. So we really supplied these eccentric, a lot of Pellegrino to like restaurants. Pellegrino was always very popular, but so my parents used to drag me along to the beverage trade shows as a kid, and part of the beverage trade shows are also the food trade shows and the health food trade shows. And my dad would have to go down to New York City to pick up Pellegrino pallets. And he would pick them up in Arthur Avenue. So I would go down with him probably since I was about 6 years old, go down to the Bronx, pick up pallets of beverages. And, while we're in the Bronx, Arthur Avenue, my dad just, hey, these are the best sun-dried tomatoes. This is the best cold cuts. We're going to pick up some cheese and some bread. And he also used to go down to Chinatown. We used to sell like sesame oil, soy sauces. Um, so I'd always go down to Canal Street. So I've been going down to the city, and since I was really little, and I realized um, my dogs are barking like crazy. Can you
Yeah,
hear?
yeah, it's all right.
Should I go? Jesus Christ. Um, so it was like instilled in me since I was a kid. So
You should just hold him.
and then so I started working in the family business, um, going to all these restaurants and just selling sodas and waters and stuff. So when I think back on it, like just going to these food shows, like so the food shows are in Baltimore, New York City, Vermont, and we go for the weekend. And you go to these trade shows, and they just give you bags and bags of samples, garbage bags of samples, because they want you to sell their shit. So I'm 10 years old, and when we're walking out of these trade shows with like bags and bags and bags, and we go back to the hotel room, and we just have like candy bars and brownies and supplements and pills and cases of drinks and because there was a lot of health food stuff, so it was ginseng and herbal fen, like all the stuff that was like controversial at the time. And there's like, so actually this weekend is the fancy food show in New York City at Jacob Javits Center. So I'll be going down there on Sunday. And the fancy food show is the biggest. It's the biggest food show, at least on the East Coast, maybe the country. But that's not doesn't specialize in like eccentric health foods. That's everything. So when you go to the fancy food show, they're literally giving out lobster and caviar and truffles and chocolate bars, everything, because they want it's for industry, right? So it's for like chefs, distributors. They want you own a restaurant in New York City. They want you to use their truffles. So here, it's like insane. Just like food, anything you can think of. Jacob Javits Center is huge. So it's really a fun time just to eat the best of the best. And they're trying to kiss your ass, so it's fun. you know, Shrimp cocktails and lobster tails and hamburgers, trying to sell everything. Oh, you want to sell our hot dogs? Here's hot dogs. You want a restaurant? Here's our ground beef. You need to sell our ground beef at your restaurant. Use your burger. So you end up walking out of the Jacob Javits with like ribs and shrimp, and it's ridiculous.
You want to go hungry at that point.
Yeah, you can't even touch it. I mean, you can't eat that much. It's mostly about bringing home stuff, but it's the best of the best. So that was my life, every couple times a year, and my dad really instilled it in me. And we were always looking for different stuff. That was our niche. We were Esotec beverages, and he got that name Esotec from the word eccentric, esoteric. So we were always kind of like different and just always kind of eccentric. So I've just been like that my whole life when it comes to everything, when it comes to food, when it comes to my cars, when it comes to my clothes, when it comes to my kitchen. I'm a little OCD when it comes to things. They have to be very specific, very specialized. So,
I mean, in that kind of setting, right? Wouldn't you think, the setting of food, being a foodie, having that OCD, I think, is a good thing because a pinch of something more or less in a meal can completely send a plate of food over the top or too less.
it's true. It's very true. That's a good observation, actually. I I'm so distracted from these dogs.
It's all good.
Jesus Christ.
I'm better on audio anyway. You know what I mean? But like this is only going to get better. It's not going to be, like I said, everything's going to change one day. Everything's going to be perfect, and we'll be fine. It's great that your dogs decided to just fuck with you right now.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it.
But
Um,
what we do have though is we have something lined up in the next 2 weeks that you're going to be taking control of, as far as I believe.
it's true. It's true.
So
So,
can you run me by what? I mean, I have expectations at this point in 2 weeks.
um, I made plans last year that I'm gonna be roasting a pig on the 4th of July. It's not my first pig roast. I've done it before. So, not only do I eat the food, I eat food. I love eating food. I love cooking. Um, I like to pretend I'm a chef. I like to pretend I'm Mario Batali or I'm Gordon Ramsay or something like that. But so I actually last year we redid our kitchen and we put in like a whole commercial kitchen in my house because I'm crazy. So so
Somebody had to do it.
right. So I had got like a restaurant kitchen upstairs and I just cook for myself and my wife really. But um so yeah, like so for my children's first birthday, um I decided I was gonna do a pig roast. So I cooked pig at my house and the easiest way for me to do it, I was looking into it. You use this box. It's called a caja china, and it's a Cuban roasting box. And you put the pig. It's a wooden box. It has a metal grate on top, and you put the pig in the box, and then you put the fire on top. So the pig is cooking underneath the fire. So the fire is above the pig, and you keep throwing charcoal on there every couple hours. Goes for like maybe 6, 7, 8 hours. Um, Flip the pig halfway through, get that crispy skin going, and marinate it in because it's Cuban style. You typically marinate it in mojo, citrus, garlic. It's not typically barbecue. It's not smoky. I was thinking about maybe doing some barbecue sauce, just because I think that's what most people are used to.
Mm.
Yeah, so we're gonna pick up a 60-pound pig. Gonna wake up at like 4 in the morning, start cooking it, and should be done, by noon, maybe 2 in the afternoon. Break it down. We'll have plenty of food, ribs, um, pork, pork belly, shanks, loins. My favorite is like the cheeks and the ears. Um, Pig ear tacos are one of my favorite foods.
Pig ear tacos. Run this one by me.
So I go up to the Asian market in Albany, and they'll sell you a pig head for $6 because nobody else wants to buy it. So you take the pig head from the Asian market and you bring it home. You throw it in the oven for a couple hours. It gets nice and crispy, and the ears are the ones that they get the crispiest because they're just sticking out there. So
Yeah.
the skin, it's just gelatinous and crunchy, almost like a pork rind. You chop those up, cilantro, onion, some hot sauce, throw it on a corn tortilla. Delicious. It's just like pig candy. So you're good to go. I'm a sucker for pork fat. Pork fat is like maybe my favorite thing in the world.
There's only so much that I could take, because I mean, you already know that like fat is heavy on its own,
Right.
right? So mine is the steak fat.
That's your
Um,
favorite? Or no?
yeah, like the marble.
I love steak fat. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
like pig fat though, it fills quick. It catches up very fast.
My wife trims the fat off a steak, and then I eat it. So, yeah.
That's naturally made for flavoring, right?
Oh, yeah. They say the fat has all the flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but it just tastes good. I don't know. I think maybe it's subconscious. It's probably our caveman instincts that say we're lusting for fat because it gives us energy. Because 2,000 years ago, we didn't have fat wasn't readily available. So it might be even down to our core that we crave it. Um, I don't know if it really holds the flavors of the seasonings and herbs. When people say fat has flavor, I don't know if fat has the flavor, but fat has the fat, and fat is what we want.
Yeah,
Unless you're, I don't know, on a diet or something.
dude, I even try, I even try to eat right, but at the same time, like if I see a fatty part, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, like
I did a keto diet for on and off for a couple of years, and then you cut out the carbs, and then you're supposed to eat the fat. So I love the
yeah, that is a fat diet. That's a fatty diet, right? Like
keto.
oils and all that shit.
It's great. I
Yeah,
all the meat, all the steak, all the bacon, hamburgers and sausages I want, and I was losing weight. It was great. I recommend it. It's great.
so we got somebody in the comments that said Cuban coffin.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
man.
they're calling it. So explain to me the difference between um like a Cuban and then maybe another way that you would do it. What's the big difference? Obviously, there's different. You say garlic and all these other maybe marinades and stuff like that. But specifically, what would you put in it if it was more Cuban, and what would be the difference between something else?
So, well, Cuban style is a mojo sauce. And mojo is like oranges, garlic, um, lemon, citrus limes, pepper, and like a vinegar. Um, but then traditional, in the United States, Texas and Carolinas, we're used to smoke, barbecue sauce. Um, Carolina's barbecue sauce is more of a vinegar based, but um, it's delicious. I don't if you're not familiar with mojo, it's absolutely fantastic. You can buy it in a grocery store, in like the Asian aisle and the South America, the Mexican aisle, whatever that aisle is with all this stuff.
I
Um,
think it's usually aisle seven.
yeah,
Um, it's either aisle 7 or aisle 15, but it's the authentic aisle, I believe it's called.
authentic aisle. Okay.
I believe so.
Um, I believe caja china stands for Cuban box, and it was invented by Chinese slaves in Cuba, um, that were working on the trains, the train tracks, like during Cold War or something like that.
Hmm.
So it's like it's like an Asian cooking method through Cuba. It's it's got a lot of history. It's crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, somebody said Cuban coffin. It looks like a coffin. It's just a wooden coffin, and you throw a pig in a coffin and light it up. It'll be fun.
That's pretty.
I'll be posting pictures on my Instagram and on Facebook on Fourth of July.
And
Good.
while you're doing that, I'm gonna be setting up all the fireworks. So,
All right. Go live. It'll be delicious. I can guarantee you it'll be delicious.
are you showing up at Sean's house early? Like, are you showing up there at 4,
Yeah,
or are
so I'm
you?
saying, no, I think I'll probably wake up at 4. He's about an hour away, so I think I'll get there around 6. Um, I think the pig last time I cooked it, it said it was only going to take like 5 or 6 hours, but after 6 hours, it wasn't done yet. So
Really?
yeah, so I think 8 hours to be safe. So if I get there at 6, start at 6, 2 o'clock ish, I'm shooting for. It's the smallest pig you can get. A lot of these butchers won't sell me anything less than 50. Um, I can't get. I'm a big fan of suckling pig. Um, those are much smaller, maybe like 10 pounds, but I haven't been able to find those anywhere. Um,
But
and
no.
those,
Why does that sound familiar?
a suckling pig would be a baby pig that's still suckling on its mom's teat for milk. So that's how young it is. And because it hasn't eaten anything else,
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds pretty fucked up.
but because it's like veal. So
Okay.
veal's a baby cow. Um, so a suckling pig it's more tender. It's only had milk its whole life. It hasn't been out in the field. It hasn't been doing any work. It hasn't been exercising. It hasn't. So it's just a lot of skin. I mean, it's kind of like a gimmick. It's good though. I'll take any kind of pig. Right?
So what's if you're gonna start it at 4, how does that transition go? Because I watched something similar on YouTube. Brother was watching something about I think it was a full cow. They did a full cow.
I've seen that before. It's wild.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Uh,
Um, what's the process in your eyes that has to go through? Like, do you start at Sean's? Do you end up there? Do you like partridge in a pear tree? What the fuck's going on here?
oh no, I'll bring the coffin over there. I'll get there at 6. Sean's picking the pig up on Saturday. We got to keep it cold.
Okay.
If I'm gonna do mojo, I should be marinating it for about 24 hours.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna throw it on, light it up, hang out in the backyard. It'll be fun. It's an all day process, right? A lot of
Yeah,
you
I gotta.
guys do is just about standing around hanging out. You ever notice that?
You gotta tell me, man. Like, I was the first time I went over. He was like, "Hey, come on over. I bought $2,000 worth of fireworks," and I was like, "Hey, you want to blow shit up?" Like, and that's basically what we did. We just, tied stuff together, sat around all day. Just that's all we did, and then we had fun at nighttime. But yeah, I actually have to come through yeah, it's tomorrow night. Jeez. Um, Tomorrow night I'm gonna start early on splicing the wires and doing all that other stuff too. Just to stay ahead of it.
So are these Facebook users that don't have a face that I see in the comment section?
Mhm.
I believe I shared this to the Ulster Eateries group. Are these people? Are these my users? Are these my followers?
I don't, it just says Facebook users, so I mean maybe we're not cool enough to.
No, I don't know if you shared it to Facebook. I shared it to Facebook though.
Yeah, I don't know where they've got to be coming from your area then.
Oh yeah, there it is. Cool. Oh, I got 11 comments. Oh wow. Okay, cool. This is the first time for everybody. All right. So, you can also, I have a couple different T-shirt designs on Etsy shop, but I don't want to steal your mojo. So,
You're good. You're good. You could, dude. You could put whatever you want on here. I'm gonna keep on doing other shows and everything that dude. This is all about your platform. I want people to know how they can buy your stuff, how they can hire you, how they can, dude. It's all about just giving back to you because I know you give back to the community. So it's like unleash it, my friend.
I think my Etsy shop is above Tees, Tees, but I posted in the group. I've got a couple
Okay.
different designs. They're cool. I give them out as at get-togethers, just promote the group, swag, giveaways. Um, that's another thing we do in the group. We do a giveaway every 1,000 members. So we have 7,400 members. So we've done 7 giveaways. Our last giveaway was just last week, and we gave away 5 gift cards. So $25 gift card to Moonburger in Kingston and New Paltz, a $25 gift card to Kingston Candy Bar, a $25 gift card to Snyder's Bakery in Saugerties. We gave away a space cake, a strawberry crunch cake from Space Cakes in Kingston. And Space Cakes, you can get cakes from you can get them spacey or non-spacey. And she does cakes that are medicated with THC if you want them.
There you go.
Yep, she's in Kingston. Check her
I
out.
like to call them thick.
Thick cakes.
Yeah, THC.
And we gave away a $25 gift card to Harana Market in Bearsville, Willow area. They do Filipino food. It's amazing. So we do that every 1,000 members. So far we've given away like 30 gift cards. Every month at the get-togethers, I give away a gift card as well. So we've had about 17 get-togethers now, something like that. So it's always a good time. I love passing out stickers. I hope everyone plasters them all over Ulster County. Um, that's the other thing, because we're really only centered around Ulster County. So 7,000 people in a county is not a bad number. Um, I was talking about this the other day about some of these influencers on Instagram, and that's the whole country. So you might, let's say you have 100,000 followers, but nobody knows who the hell you are, because it's like one person per county or something like that, right? So.
Yeah.
7,000 people in a county as small as Ulster, I get recognized a lot, which is it's a little weird, but I'm getting used to it. The big thing that me and you had talked about that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I got to attend a TV show this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice. They called, and this was what blows my mind. So I'm a wedding photographer, right? So I was shooting a wedding in South Carolina last weekend. I try to do a lot of travel. Destination weddings are my favorite. So I'm doing a wedding in South Carolina, and I get a text message from Fox. I'm like this is casting from Fox. We want you to be a special guest at the show that we're taping this week. So I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So I signed an NDA. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about it. Just throwing it out there. But
just saying. Just saying.
If you're from Ulster County and you're from Saugerties, and there was a TV show being recorded this week, I might have been a VIP guest.
Just saying.
So, and that comes out in the fall. So whenever that TV show does decide to show its face, we're gonna have a viewing party. So I've already decided. So we're gonna have an Ulster Eateries viewing party. There'll be there's a couple other people that'll be in the show that you guys will recognize. So I think we should do it. We'll get a big screen somewhere. Maybe one of these restaurants I'm friends with. We can put it on the TV or something like that. But
that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, and we'll have some food, drink some beers, and check it out. I have no idea how they're gonna cut it up, so I don't know. Hopefully, I know I'm going to be on there. I just don't know how much.
I do have. So, what made you start the coffee?
Nobody even knows that I started the coffee yet, man.
I know, but like, what made you? What was the drive behind that?
Well, a couple things. I'm obsessed with coffee, just like. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. I'm obsessed with coffee, just like I'm obsessed with food. So I've been diving real deep into coffee for a few years now. One of the things that my father distributed from New York City was coffee. And we would get the coffee from New York City, and we would sell it a couple health food stores, particularly Sunflower Natural Foods in Woodstock. And they would order like 50 pounds at a clip. My dad would pick it up in the city and bring it up, and it was always like a special coffee for us from this particular roaster. So my family, we've been drinking it for maybe 30 years now. And my father passed away last year, and I had to close down the family business after 39 years, and it was really crazy because I worked there for 19 years, ran the place, and I had just walked away 6 months previously. Like I said, I had just walked away and went full-time photography. So when my father passed away, I was really the only one that was capable of knowing how to shut it down. And I took it hard. I'm still dealing with it. But one of the things that it came to me, like, what if this coffee that my dad used to sell and that we used to drink, what if I sold that coffee? And what if, I honored him by keeping part of his distribution alive and part of, this thing that we enjoyed together as a family. So I contacted that coffee roaster, and they're on board. So the coffee is roasted daily in New York City. Um, they're roasting it to my specifications, my recipes, the way that we used to distribute it for 30 years. And they send it to me. I get it next day. So it's roasted 1 day old. And then I bag it. I'm bagging it in Saugerties. So it's roasted in New York City, but distributed in Saugerties. And that's called tinydogcoffee.com. It's named after my 3 dogs. And I'm excited. Right now I'm working on some flavors, some formulas. Um, we've got our signature flavor is going to be hazelnut, and that is the only hazelnut that I know of that actually has nuts, actual hazelnuts in the coffee. No
And
art.
what's the name of the site again?
tinydogcoffee.com.
I'll put it up here so people
And
can look at it.
that's not. It's still in the works too. It's a little early, but
I
everyone that
got
comes
you.
out to Hickory Barbecue on Wednesday is going to get a free bag of coffee. So I'm going to give out samples, see how everybody likes it.
Hmm.
But what makes us different, and what makes Tiny Dog different, is that all of our flavored coffees actually have um, the actual ingredients. So it's not artificially flavored. So the hazelnut coffee has actual hazelnuts mixed in with the beans.
Oh
The
wow.
blueberry coffee actually has freeze dried blueberries in with the beans. Toasted almond has almonds with the beans. Pecans has pecans with the beans. So I have not been able to find any other coffee um, brand that is willing to do these kind of flavors with actual ingredients. Um, it's very limited flavoring. I think we're working on about 6 flavors and an espresso. Um, the espresso is really good. I'm really digging it. It's called Big Bite Espresso. Big bite from a little dog, and from a tiny dog, and it's not flavored or anything. It's an Italian espresso. All the other ones are a blend of mostly Brazilian. Um,
Mm.
it's really good. It's just like I wanted to make a coffee brand for everybody that can drink all day, any day, right? Now, for me personally, I'm into like the crazy shit. Like this bean was grown by one person on 5,000 feet elevation for 1 month of the year, and it was flown on a personal jet from South Africa, and it's $50 a pound. And that's the kind of coffee I drink. So this is mainstream for me.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't. I don't think there's a lot of people who are into coffee that hard. So I ended up just kind of working out, and I'm pretty stoked that it's something my dad would love. Like my dad's definitely totally into it, and I'm kind of just like in a weird way doing it for him, and like it was his favorite coffee. So, um, and it's my favorite flavored coffees. So, um,
It's got to be hard to see something hit basically 4 decades
yeah,
worth of family work and legacy, and you walking away from it, not in a bad way, but you found your own niche, right? Like, and you wanted to go explore that, which I commend you on. And, you know, unfortunately, and deeply sorry for your loss,
thank you.
that happened. And it almost feels like everything, I can only imagine that it felt like everything just crumbled, like everything was just kind of like kaput. And, but like you said earlier, everything happens for a reason. It's a new day, like it's a new day and age. There's new things presented to us, right? Like, you know, it's not the same as when your father ran the business then, right? But your father probably had that great customer service, you know, and also that customer service coming from those that that coffee place to your dad.
Yeah,
So that's been going on for 40 years.
right.
I don't think they're just going to forget something like that. And I think with technology nowadays, with the amount of things that are just handed to us that we can use and utilize to help grow a business or a brand, um, I personally think that this is gonna go faster than you think.
Right. I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the point, right? Yeah.
I mean, I've got like 5 part-time jobs right now. So why not take another couple?
I feel you.
But my number one is my wedding photography. That's the breadwinner. Um, and then I just want to keep doing what I love doing, right? Um, so I love food. I love eating food. I love talking about food, and I love hanging out with other people that love talking about food. So it's reached a point now. I've been working on this for we started January 22. So next, so what are we at? 16
About
months?
a year and a half later.
Yeah, almost a year and a half, 16 months. And I need in order for me, I'm going out to eat like once or twice a week, and so it's time for me. I need a little residual. I need to keep this flowing. So I decided the my favorite. So like, if the food group is my passion, my next biggest passion is coffee.
Mm.
So if the food group is already doing good, then why not go and see what coffee can do? So I think once you try it, if you liked flavored coffees, I think these will be the best flavored coffees you've ever had. Um, I might come out with a single origin, non-flavored, just for myself because that's what I like to drink, like an light roast Ethiopian. Um, that's what my preference is.
Um, I want to say some ideas. I'm gonna wait till next week. Don't blurt them out on here. But I got some really good like names of different things. And the thing is, like, I don't drink too much coffee at all. If a couple times a year, right?
Mm.
But with that, it actually allows me to, I guess, get into a flavor more since I'm not completely be like, oh, this has this or this has that. I know when coffee just tastes like shit. Like because I don't drink it all the time, but at the same time I'd be like, yeah, nope, I'm good. Like I've put in coffee to the side because I'm like, yeah, that doesn't at all.
Did you hear that? No.
Yeah,
You heard all the dogs upstairs?
yeah.
Oh man. Um, after what? I drink coffee all day. So after this, I'm gonna go upstairs and make a coffee. To be honest.
Yeah, don't
And
worry. You got people already know about the dogs, my friend.
that's my son. I don't know what that picture is. Oh, so,
Yeah, kids and their profiles nowadays are crazy, man. It's a completely different world.
it is. My kids are 11 and 9, and they just got cell phones about a month ago, and they're on the cell phone
Yeah,
constantly all day. Oh
I
well.
feel you.
You have any kids?
So no, no, nothing. I am free from the world. Just um, I will
$3.
ask.
Whoever, I don't know. Facebook user who said you got a damn kennel over there. Yeah, I do. Yeah. But it's a kennel of 3 French bulldogs. It's like the cutest kennel that could ever exist. They like sleep on my face, and like I can't get any sleep, but like then they just like fart and snore, and it makes it all better. So
So, all right. So I got to ask you these questions because they're important questions. Okay.
okay. Shoot.
Oh, by the way, hold on. Whoever Magic Wand is.
I know Magic. Hey Magic. Where's that blue car at? Magic.
So far, I'll say so far, best burger you've tasted
Anywhere or Ulster?
anywhere.
Well, I'll just make this easy because I can't think that hard right now.
Okay, so you want to consolidate into
Yeah, I had one of my top 3 burgers ever like last week, and it was in Ulster. So we'll just make that easier. Burger Box in New Paltz. Every month they come out with a special burger,
Hmm.
and this place is fire. Like their burgers are crazy. So I go there for the first time last week, and they had special Pride burger. I think it was called like Pride Berry, and it was a burger with crispy prosciutto, onions, um, a ball of burrata, and strawberry jelly, arugula, and white balsamic on a toasted bun. And did I say a cheese? There's some kind of cheese on there. Oh,
you
the
said like
burrata.
a yeah.
Oh god, this shit was so good. Strawberry on a burger, but the burrata is like cool. Have you ever had burrata?
I have, yes.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like between a mozzarella and a ricotta.
Yeah.
Uh, crispy prosciutto, like a disc of prosciutto. The burger was like this tall, and it had a rainbow flag coming out of the top. Um,
Th- How is it cooked?
Medium rare. That's the way I always eat my burgers. Yeah, delicious. And and then we got Reuben fries that had pastrami, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island, and a pile of pickles on French fries. It was like enough for an army. I ate those fries for like 3 days. It was like $15 for the fries, but I'm not even joking. It was like 3 pounds. Like no exaggeration, like 3 pounds of fries. It was definitely enough for fries for like 4 people. So I would recommend those fries any day of the week.
You said the burger box?
Burger Box, New Paltz.
Mm.
So good. Another one of the best burgers ever is Shotzi's. Shotzi's has a location in Poughkeepsie and New Paltz.
Mm.
Um, they do they do a burger that has a potato latke on it with pork belly on a pretzel bun, and then they do another burger that has a deep fried mac and cheese puck um, on top of the burger with bacon. And, you know, it's a they call it like a stunt burger,
Mm.
just to be stunting. You know? No,
You said
seriously.
you sounded so old trying to say that. Could they be stunting?
Oh, my bad. But it's like it's for the gram, you know.
Hey, everything's for the gram, right?
Yeah. But yeah, those might be the 2 best burgers I've ever had, and they're both local. Um,
Okay.
I can't, honest to God, I can't think any farther than that.
You know where you would I think you would like this. Myers Corner Dutch in Beacon.
Myers Corner Dutch, I've never heard of
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna put you on, man.
Okay.
And they have these things, and I didn't know this, by the way. I had no idea this is what it was called, but they have these things called dirty fries,
Nice.
which is awesome.
You named them.
I wish I named them. he's actually still supposed to be he's going to be a guest on the show. Um, just scheduling with a podcast is horrific.
So
Um, but the mixture of different peppers and cheeses and
okay.
meat and you name it with these fries, and it's just that good. But they're like the old school kind of greasy fries, but yet they're still crunchy.
Didn't you start off this by saying you don't like spicy foods?
Oh no, it tears my stomach out.
But this has
But
peppers on it.
but if it tastes good, I'm just gonna put my body through it.
Yeah, I mean, so I used to grow my own ghost peppers, Trinidad scorpions, Moruga scorpions, chocolate scorpions, and my favorite pepper of all is called the brain strain. And I grew this one brain strain plant for 5 years, and I kept it outside. And then in the wintertime, I'd bring it in my garage. I had grow lights on it. So after like 5 years, it was a giant bush. It was like the size of like half of a car. And every year it would give me like, I don't even remember, like 10 or 20 pounds of peppers. And these brain strains are spicier than ghost peppers. They're kind of like um, somewhere around like 1,200 to 15, I'm sorry, 12 million, 1.2 million to 1.5 million Scovilles. And they look like a brain. They're like all crunchy and curled up, and like they're the coolest peppers. And I used to make my own hot sauce. I still have some in the freezer, but it's so hot that it lasts like one little bottle of hot sauce lasts me like a year. So when you're cooking up 20 pounds of hot sauce, my whole freezer was full of hot sauce. My wife was pissed. So.
So can you go? Let's go back for a second with that. When you were saying they're rated, the peppers are rated how?
Scoville units.
So what I was always curious. What is that? And how is that chart? What does that look like?
My understanding is that a Scoville has something to do with how many drops can be detected in like a swimming pool or like a some numerical number of water. It's like hundred
Hmm.
thousand gallons, like 1,000 gallons of water or something like that.
Yeah.
So, um, but no, that wouldn't make sense because then it would be reversed because then one drop would be stronger than like a million drops, right? So
When I was down in
you can look it up. Google it.
I should.
I'll do it
Um,
right now.
I don't. You know who I don't have? I don't have young Jamie here like Joe Rogan. So
Yeah, right.
um, no, I was down in South Carolina seeing my cousin, and he, I should have known right off the bat. There was a plate there, and it was just like two peppers, and they were small. And he was like, "You want to try one?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So he cuts it, and I just took the end part of it, and I just popped it in my mouth. And he was like, "Dude, you can't do that." And I was like, "Why?" And I was like, started chewing. He's like, "Those are Carolina Reapers."
Right, right.
and
So, yeah.
and
All
that
right. So it's cool that you mentioned that. So the guy who invented the Carolina Reaper, his name is Ed Curry, and he's from South Carolina. So I got
okay.
my seeds directly from him. Now
Oh wow.
yeah. See, I told you I'm like crazy about all this shit.
Yeah.
So he invented the all these like so now he invented Carolina Reaper, right? Now the hottest pepper is pepper. Then it was like Pepper X, and now it's Apollo. Um, I don't know if he invented brain strain, but he comes up with these new peppers and he keeps crossbreeding them. He's in South Carolina. His business is called Pucker Butt, and every couple of years he comes out with a new hottest pepper in the world. But it takes him a couple of years to cross the pepper, and then they have to be grown so many generations before they're considered like a new strain or new breed of pepper. So he's basically doing like all the work. Like this dude has come up with like the last five hottest peppers in the world. The same guy, and you can buy his pepper seeds directly from him on his website. so you know they're legit. Because if you buy like Carolina Reaper seeds from somebody else, they might be cross contaminated, or you don't really know what you're gonna get. So this he's the guy that's on Hot Ones all the time. So he makes all the last dab for Hot Ones on YouTube. That's with Ed Curry. Um,
Huh.
and the new Pepper X, the last dab has progressed a couple times over the years. So the original Last Dab was Carolina Reaper, and then they came out with Last Dab Apollo, and then they came out with Last Dab Pepper X or something like that. Yeah, it's all from the same guy. So that's where I got my seeds from. Yeah, just like you said, I used to just eat the peppers as like a joke, like because you have such an endorphin rush, you kind of like lose track of time for 15 minutes, and you know, I would just eat one. I'd videotape myself. I'd eat like a Carolina Reaper, and then for the next 10 minutes, I'd just be running around my house like fisting food and drinks and like sweating. I'd be like, cheese, milk, cookies, and like for those 10 minutes, like you're just out of it, dude. Like
Well, people don't realize it's like water is the worst thing.
Right. Well, capsaicin is an oil, right? So oil and water doesn't mix, so it's pointless.
Yeah.
So that's why they say you're supposed to use milk, because the fat sticks to
It's got like a base, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, I love spicy foods. I've never met a pepper I won't eat. But yeah, so I've done a little bit of everything. Make my own hot sauce, make my own coffee.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I'm crazy, right? I don't know. But what else was I gonna say? I don't know. This is cool. We could hang out and do this every week.
Yeah, man. That's the whole point. You just want to have a good time. Do you have anywhere where you have a spot where people can get some of your merch?
Yeah, it's on Etsy. It's pretty sad that like I don't even know exactly.
Oh, good. If you have it, put it right in the chat. Because the chat just stays there anyway.
Let's see. Spell that too.
So your son asks you.
Yeah.
If you remember the one chip challenge.
Oh wait. What did my son say about one chip challenge? Yeah. So I bought a bunch of one. Are you guys familiar with the Packy's one chip challenge?
I remember it, yeah. I never tried it.
So that was actually way worse than I expected, because the chips get stuck in your teeth and they just keep hitting you over and over for like hours. And I never really,
like in between your gums and everything.
Yeah, like you don't realize how much a corn chip sticks in your teeth until the specks of chip are like on fire. So
But did you feel like that? Did you feel that like fire like in your gums and everything throughout the rest of the time?
no, it was mostly like the tip of my tongue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that would have been worse. You know how sometimes like when they can get it. I mean, that's like your gums are like the cuticles of your teeth, right? Like so. That would suck if something got in there and just kept burning the shit out of you.
But I bought them for Christmas, and we decided to do the one chip challenge on Christmas before we ate dinner, and it messed us up so bad, like because it like totally turned my stomach. We couldn't really eat because everybody felt sick, because it's a lot of synthetic hot sauces, they don't get their capsaicin directly from a pepper. It's like capsaicin made in a science lab, and it's like a concentrate.
See, that's the stuff I'm worried about.
Yeah, it's not good, and that's the stuff that messes up your stomach. The natural capsaicin is a little bit easier to digest, doesn't fuck you up as much. So, but that Packy chip was all sorts of chemicals and shit, and really messed up my Christmas. Really, so I learned my lesson that day, and never eating one chip challenge on Christmas ever again. Like,
I heard that you can, maybe we'll try this. You can light a Dorito on fire and it will just stay burning.
because it has so much fat in it or something like that.
All the chemicals on it.
Oh, chemicals? Probably the oil. I'm trying to sign into my Etsy shop. Let's see. Of course, I haven't signed in so long that it wants me to
You remember your password?
send me. I remember the password, but it still wants me to put in a code to my cell phone. It's ridiculous. All right, update shop manager, listings. All right, here we go. Oh man, I got my. I make shirts for like shits and giggles, and I made a shirt for 4th of July, and it's on my Etsy shop. It's on my Etsy store for sale.
Wait, what did you say? You made a shirt for?
I made a shirt for the 4th of July, a special shirt that nobody knows about.
Dude, I. This is why you're awesome. Because I got something I'm going to show you that day as well. So.
Okay. All right. I got my link. Okay. Let's see. How do I send it to? Just put it in the chat. No.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Won't let me. It says can't post comments to Facebook groups. Oh, private chat. There you go.
There you go. I'll make sure it gets there.
Now here, you might be able. Let me back. Let's see. Let me know if that works for you.
Yeah.
That works. You'll see my 4th of July shirt.
There we go.
I also have a Disney shirt on there, but that's a whole other story.
All right.
Sean doesn't know about you know what put it in reverse, Terry?
Yes and no.
You don't know about the video with the guy in the wheelchair and they light off the fireworks and the fireworks.
Oh, yes, yeah, and it didn't work.
And he goes, "Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry."
Yes, I do remember that.
It's a wheelchair with fireworks and it says, "Put it in reverse, Terry."
That is amazing. So what I'll do is here, check this out.
That I made a there's a Disney shirt on my Etsy store for Cosmic Rewind, which is a Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Disney. And I sent those T-shirts to a bunch of famous YouTubers that do Disney vlogging. And one of the biggest, most famous Disney vloggers wore my T-shirt on his channel and shouted me out. Adam the Woo. I don't know if you're familiar with Adam the Woo.
No.
But he's got like 600,000 YouTube followers. He wore my T-shirt. He was like shouting me out. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. Like, I just what's that saying? Like you lose like every chance you don't take or whatever. You lose 100% of the chances you don't take.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
Right. So I'm just like, yo, let me send T-shirts to famous people, see what the fuck happens. And bam, I'm on YouTube.
There's actually, I'm in the midst of reloading one of, or 3 of my shirts, because as 2 of them got sold out, they talked about it on a podcast I listened to.
Sweet.
And the thing is, there's 1 for 1. Like, I could just say it. It's French toast, pancakes, and waffles. And it's a ballot shirt. And they're all being reordered anyway, but that's what you can buy. And it's a ballot shirt, and you pick the one that you like the most, and that's the one that has the check mark on it as like that's what you vote for. That's the one you like.
Okay.
On one of the podcasts I listened to, they were discussing that one day. They were like, "Well, which one do you like the most, waffles, French toast, or pancakes?" And then they just went around for like 10 minutes. They just went around the entire table, and I was like, you know what? Yep, we're sending all those shirts right to their PO box.
Oh yeah.
Like who else? Like nobody else has it, and I copy wrote it anyway. So
Um, I have to check out your page. Where's your link? We'll have to talk about t-shirt designs later.
I'll, let's see if we can put this on here.
So you bringing a film crew the 4th of July or what?
I was trying to. It's gonna be too much for that. I'm gonna get a. I'm gonna get a whole trailer done and stuff like that. But for Fourth of July, probably not. Um, I will keep everything the way it is. I think there's gonna be too much going on anyway. If we were to do that, we're still gonna be putting the fireworks together, and everybody's gonna be doing their own thing. There's got to be some, some cornhole games I have to win. That's a no brainer. So got to kick some ass and take some names at the same time. So,
Wow, this is a nice website, man.
yo, I I'll tell you what, I appreciate it, but all hat goes off to my man Raghavendra. My man put that together. Anybody wants a website done, contact me. I will hook you up with this guy. This guy knows his stuff.
And you did a photo shoot for all this stuff?
Yeah, I have a photographer over here in uh, in Newburgh that I use, but that was before I met you too. So it's like I'm pretty sure I can come up with some ideas with you and hire you too.
Yeah, no, they look good. They look cool. A little studio action. I actually have. I
That
set up.
studio is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. I just do. That's another thing I do. So I do photos for restaurants for their websites and stuff.
Mm,
So recently, like 2 weeks ago, there's a new restaurant in Kingston opened up. It's called Brickman. Kind of a big thing in Kingston right now when a new restaurant opens up. So I went in there. I did all the photos for the website, for the social media. I have studio lights. I can bring into the restaurant. They take pictures of the chef cooking everything. I did all the website stuff for Salt and Fire and Saugerties. Um, and then like when I do these food reviews and I go into a restaurant or a bakery and I think I take pretty good photos of their food. I usually send them the photos to their Facebook and say, hey, use these for whatever you want, free of charge, whatever. Just because a lot of these restaurants are in little holes in the wall type places, they don't have access to a photographer, and they could really use better photos for their Instagram, their Facebook when they're posting their specials or the food. I can't tell you how many restaurants have been using my photos in Ulster County in the last year or so.
mm.
Um, I just send them a message, say, here, use these however you want. And it's just a good way for me to network, get on, I'm helping them. Um, they see the photos look good. The photos are better than, what they're using. And hey, next time they want to get some good photos, they know where to go.
Yeah,
So it's probably like 10 restaurants that are using photos I took from doing a review of their food that they're using, they're posting weekly or every other week when they, check out this chicken sandwich on Facebook, and it's like a picture I took. And I don't put a watermark on it or anything. It's all theirs. Um,
I think people like the ego in that business, not just in that business, but in business alone. Nobody wants to do that, right? The ego comes out and it's like, well, I need to get paid. I need recognition. What about me, right? I get it, right? But nobody actually sees the fact that long term that helps out in so many different ways. Like if I see that and you're telling me this and I see that, I see somebody's just like, hey man, it's a business. You save some money, use it, you like it, cool, come back. Very easy, laid back. Hey, this guy's easy going. We can work with him. Like they'll come back. They're always gonna have new dishes. They're always gonna have a new thing going on, something happening. Hey, can you? They'll be back. They'll all be back, and I think that's a right. I think it's a really good strategy.
yeah, I mean, It's a really good way to network, get on their good side. And then if they have a wedding that's at the restaurant or a wedding in the family, they know, spread the word. Um, weddings are my passion. Weddings are really how I started with photography, and I ended up shooting my own wedding. That's how this whole thing, crazy story, started. Um,
You're gonna have to describe that.
well, I was lucky enough to get engaged and married in the wonderful island of Barbados. So when we got engaged in Barbados, we had already been there, so we knew where we decided we were gonna have a destination wedding. We knew where we wanted our photos taken. So I had I had been doing some landscape photography and just kind of farting around, and I had a decent camera. So we hired a tour bus to take us around the island, and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law came with us, and we went to all the spots that we wanted to go to, and whatever photos of my wife and I wasn't in them, I took. Any photos that I was in, I gave my camera to my father-in-law, and I said, "This is how I see this, and this is what I want." Point the camera at me and click the button. And after that, I did have to hire a photographer from the hotel for the ceremony. So I didn't shoot the ceremony, but the photos are so epic that when my friends saw these wedding photos, one of my friends said, "Hey, you want to shoot our wedding?" I was like so scared. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" It's like I was like, "Oh my god, how do I do this? What do I charge?"
Yeah, yeah. All the questions, right? They're all there now.
So I charged her $500, my first wedding. Uh, and in retrospect, the photos were nothing great. But then her sister was getting married the next year. Said, "Can you do my wedding? You did my sister's wedding." Okay, $650. Okay. And then
You know a little bit more at that point, you know.
and then so that was up in Albany. So actually, the first like 10 weddings I did were all in Albany. And one of their, then the next friend, one of their friends, "Hey, you did these girls' weddings. Like, can you do my wedding?" And then it was like 900, and then it was 1,000, and then it was 1,300, and then it was. So it all started from just me and my wife thinking about what our wedding photos we wanted in Barbados, and so destination weddings are my favorite thing in the world, by far, because I get to travel.
Yeah, how could they not be?
Eat, because there's nothing I like better than eating while I'm traveling. It's pretty much how I started, like this whole food thing. We'll circle back to that. And then weddings. So yeah, so the trifecta, and I get paid. I mean, come on. Um, so yeah, I was doing a wedding in South Carolina last weekend. I did 2 weddings in Las Vegas in March. I did a wedding in New Jersey in May. Every year I usually do like one. So last year I did one in Narragansett, Rhode Island. The year before that I did one in Cape May, New Jersey. Um, I've done some in Connecticut. I've done in Buffalo, New York, Virginia, and Barbados. So pretty much the Northeast, Vegas, and Barbados. I think there might be some more in there. I forget, but
So let me just hone in on this for
yeah.
2 seconds. I'm starting to create a pattern here with what you do. You go somewhere, you found out that you wanted to do your own wedding pictures. So you do your own wedding pictures.
Yeah.
You get that done. And somebody else hires you. You go to that wedding, you get paid, cool. And what's at weddings? Food, right? There's a bunch of food there. And cool, okay. So now we're no, now we're doing weddings and now we're doing food, right? Well, what's also the last thing that people usually give people at the end of weddings? Coffee. right? So now we dove into the coffee realm. Okay, are
And
you
then,
gonna start like a fucking mattress uh thing, like for the end of the night, like a
well,
mattress business? Like, is there something else that's coming? Like, are you wrapping everything up with a bow here?
I could do an Airbnb at my house or something.
I'm just, why the fuck not?
And
The
then
whole, it
yeah,
should be called the whole package. That's what you should call it, Airbnb, the whole package, and it should come with wedding pictures, food, like, dude, everything, coffee.
it's
You
true.
got it.
Um, my wife actually does wedding makeup. So my wife worked for MAC Cosmetics for 9 years. Um, and she does more weddings than I do for makeup. So a lot of times we work together, and she'll do the bridal makeup. I'll be taking the photos of the bride getting her, ready in the morning,
Mm.
and then she'll stay with me into the evening and help me take photos. She's also my second photographer. So if you hire a second photographer, she comes along. She went to college for photography. Um, so we're kind of like the dynamic duo, the 1-2 punch. AboveWeddings.com. That's my go-to. I love anything eccentric, different, out of the box, non-traditional. Boudoir, tattoos. The wedding in South Carolina was on a bridge. I've never done a wedding on a bridge.
Okay,
Um, See that? I even gave you the wrong address.
it's all right. Somebody
Oh,
will look it up.
it's above weddings.com
Oh, look at that.
because above weddings.com is some guy in a helicopter who takes.
You can't go back from this now, okay? Everybody's gonna pick the guy with the helicopter.
Oh, um, so yeah, no. My wife does boudoir photos. It seems that girls are a little more comfortable with another woman taking their photos when they're half naked and whatnot.
Okay, that's actually that's good to know.
Yeah. So she gets freaky. She's got all the props and stuff that you need. Usually like rent a hotel or something like that or Airbnb and um, take advantage of the backdrops in the bedroom and all that stuff for some really nice photos. A lot of girls do that for like wedding presents for their husband to be. Kind
Mhm.
of like give them a little peep show, like a book before they get married. Um, it's really cool, a really good idea for like a wedding gift. Sometimes bride and grooms exchange gifts before the wedding. We do family photos. I just had a family photo shoot last night down at the Sauger's Lighthouse.
Mhm.
We do school photos, holidays. I do all the photos for a dance school. We do the prints. We send out the prints just like a elementary school. You pick your package. You get your wallets. You get your 8x10s. Um, Anything you need. Events, but particularly food. I love food photography. So my passion would be, I'll come to your restaurant, take photos of all the food on your menu. You can use that for your website. You can use that for your social media. Um, and I think one of the best ways to promote, nowadays everything's social media, right? Everything's Instagram, everything's Twitter, everything's Facebook, everything's TikTok. If you're a restaurant and you're taking your pictures with like an iPhone 6 and you're posting up some haggard dish, you're not doing yourself any justice. Pictures talk. The food, a nice photo of food that makes you salivate with the dripping grease on the burger and the cheese, and it'll do wonders. We live in a society that's all driven by photos. It's all driven by visuals. Um, so I highly suggest for any restaurant who wants to step up their social media game to get proper photos.
I
Start
was
to,
told the same thing about, like this. Like, I made this. You know,
you know,
this is the best hoodie that I've ever had, and I don't just say that because it's my brand. I put the work in to find out if it's going to be the best hoodie I've ever had. But the guy, Raghavendra, he told me, he was like, "Look, spend the money, put them on people and put it on a website. He's like, you will get 32% more sales when it's on a person.
Right.
I'm like, what? And he, same thing, like it probably same language, maybe different numbers with food, right? The way food looks, how it's presented. You would know how to take that greasy looking hamburger and the way the cheese is melted. You would know what to show on that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I can't tell you with this food group. We're tagging restaurants, a couple of restaurants a day. Some restaurants don't even have like a Facebook. Some restaurants haven't posted on their Facebook in a year. They don't check their messages. And I'm trying to get a hold of them. I'm trying to promote them or share like a menu or share what are their weekend specials, and they're nowhere to be found, MIA. And they're
Missing
not
out.
serious. Yeah. I spoke to a very famous chef this week who told me that social media is the way to go. He says he loves social media and that he can't believe that a lot of these restaurants aren't into it. Um, there's some people, I've gotten some pushback. Once in a while, you get pushback from some restaurant owner who's like, I don't like social media. They're just a bunch of trolls bad mouthing my food and that. And you're doing yourself a disservice, man. And maybe people are trolling you and making and giving you bad reviews because your food sucks. I don't know. Step up your
It's a
game.
possibility. Yeah.
That's why you should take the positive criticism and you should listen to these people and know your customer. If you know your customer and you know what they want, you're going to sell a lot more food instead
Yeah.
of selling what you want, instead of selling what you think is good. Now you need to sell what your customer wants, what makes them happy. So I'm actually see myself. I'm a surrogate for the customer. Um, I am directly opposed to the Chamber of Commerce. So the Chamber of Commerce is an advertising arm for the restaurant, and they are advocating for the restaurant who's paying the chamber good money to promote them. What I'm doing is I'm advocating for the customer and the consumer. I'm not advocating for the restaurant. So if I'm going to go into a restaurant and say, listen, I speak for your customers, I speak for your clients, and this is what we think you should do. You can take that and tell me to go jump off a bridge and totally ignore me and ignore my 7,400 followers in Ulster County who go out. And our followers are much more in tune with eating and reviews, and we're like the hardcore foodies. There are other food groups who are just like older families who want to go to like Texas Roadhouse, and they don't care about the details of how pickled their daikon radishes on their banh mi, and if the restaurant uses natural heritage pigs from the Berkshires. And no, they don't care. They just want to see a menu at Applebee's, and they want to take their grandmother out for their birthday dinner, whatever. No, my group, we are particular. We know what we're looking for, and we expect higher. We have a higher, expectations of what food should be, what it should taste like. So if I'm going to go into a restaurant and I'm going to advocate for the consumer, and I'm going to voice to the 7,000 people, this stuff is good, this restaurant's good to go. Nothing to worry about. This restaurant, nah, it's no good. Don't go there. Don't spend your money there. It's going to be a waste. Service sucks. Food quality is not good. And then that restaurant is going to ignore us as a group. They're doing themselves a disservice. It's probably why they're hurting and they're ready to go out of business. And instead of taking that frustration out on us, they should look inward and say, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to better my product? What can I do, to make my customers happy instead of trying to make myself happy. And maybe that positive criticism could really go far in improving your business, improving your food quality. That's the way we see it. We do get pushback once in a while. Like I said, some people think we're just out there trying to destroy them or talk shit about their food. That's not the goal. In a perfect world, everybody's food would be great, but unfortunately, that isn't possible. Um, and everyone says that restaurants need a pass because of COVID, and I just don't see it that way. I mean, when you buy something on Amazon, you're going to read the reviews. When you buy a car, you're going to read the reviews. When you buy a cell phone, you're going to read the reviews. I read the reviews for everything, and people who are going to turn a blind eye, they're joking themselves. I mean, there's no reason why a restaurant should get a free pass, just like anything else that you buy. Why I buy like paper towels on Amazon, read the reviews. I buy batteries on Amazon, read the reviews. Like, crazy.
Nothing wrong with that. And the thing is, um, with COVID, right? It's not like somebody didn't know how to still make a dish.
Right.
They knew how to do it. They didn't lose that sense of half cup, quarter cup of this. They still knew how to do it. It should still taste the same than what you thought it was going to come out with in the beginning. Like you had this idea for an amazing dish or this great restaurant. You had expectations. You had bars that you wanted to hit and goals that you wanted to complete. And yeah, maybe on the business aspect of things, maybe it took a little bit of a hit, but the flavor doesn't change. It shouldn't change. The love you put inside of a meal shouldn't change. You know what I mean, the comfort that somebody has with that, saying, you know what, I don't want to try anything new because this is my dish. Like this right here, they make it the way I like it.
Well, I think what they were saying was, prices went through the roof. So everybody was saying, do I raise my prices to some kind of astronomical amount that nobody's going to pay for?
Mm,
Do I lower my quality? And that was what restaurants were facing.
I don't
Prices are
like that.
still high. Prices are still high, right? So every half the time I go out to eat, I'm still amazed at prices on some of this stuff. Um,
But it's weird how much people will still spend.
if it's something that I want and something I want to try, something I saw on TikTok and something that's the new trendy thing, I pay whatever.
I don't mind it. I actually don't mind it either.
Right. I paid $50 for a hamburger once. I just remember that.
Where
Yeah.
was that?
The Truffleist in Manhattan was a white truffle cheeseburger, and they grate the truffle on top. It's very good.
It better have been shit. It's $50 fucking.
Um, we went to this pizzeria in New Jersey called Brother Bruno's, and we walked in, and they had no menu, and we said, "How do we order? What do we order?" They said, "Any pizza you want, anything you can come up with, $50 per pizza." I said, "What?" And they said, "Go onto Instagram, look at our Instagram for ideas. Any pizza you want, $50." So we ordered two pizzas.
Mhm.
Came to like $108 after tax. And we got first they put down a pizza crust. Then they put down 8 grilled cheese sandwiches. Then they put down another pizza crust. Then they put down 8 bacon cheeseburgers. Then they put down tomato sauce, mozzarella, and mozzarella sticks. And I think it was pepperoni. So the slices were like pizza, grilled cheese, pizza, bacon cheeseburger, mozzarella stick. And then for my family of four, we ate one slice and we're full. All four of us were full. One slice. and we brought the other 7 slices home and froze them and ate them for like a month. And then we got a dessert pizza. That was the other pizza. So it was a pizza,
I've heard about this.
right? So $50. It was a pizza crust, and then it was about a 1/4 inch of cookie dough, and then it was another pizza crust, and then it was cannoli cream, um, Nutella, I believe, crunched up cannoli shells, and then each slice had its own whole cannoli. So it was 8 cannolis, and then and you had a 1/4 inch of cookie dough too. $50. Check. It's a cool place. It's in Clifton, New Jersey. They do. That's all they do. They do. They're
One bite, and I would just like diabetic collapse.
They do all that shit. They do crazy shit, man. Insane. And it's like you can come up with whatever you want. They don't even have like a menu. They're like whatever you want. Jalapeno poppers, mozzarella sticks, calamari, Philly cheesesteaks, on whatever you want. You just come up with it. $50.
There's a spot I think that you would really like, and it's in Mayapack. It's called Chard.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Dude,
Pizza place?
it's called Chard. It's in Mayapack. It's got it's a great steakhouse,
Oh, okay.
and I got a tomahawk from there. And you're talking like, bam, like that.
Tomahawk,
That bone was
yeah.
like thick.
So I'm too cheap to order a tomahawk at a steakhouse. What'd you pay for that?
It was like high 30s, almost 40.
No, that's cheap for a tomahawk.
Yeah. Well, she hooked us up though. I forget her name, but so a little side story. Me and my buddy kind of do the same thing that you guys do, except you guys are a little bit more, you're up here. We're kind of like, hey, we're climbing from the basement. Um, Him and I go out. He's a waiter, so we kind of judge whether or not we like it or not by taste, by serving. I don't drink, right? But everything, where we're seated, how we're seated, everything. And she hooked us up. She was cool because he gets along with the waiters and waitresses. And once he says that he's a server, all of a sudden everything just flows. Everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna get one tomahawk." She's like, "And I'm gonna get the chef to cut it up for you too." And she did. And dude, I'm telling you, top 3 steaks I've ever had.
Right. So I'm actually just the other day somebody asked me what my favorite steakhouse is, and I'm not a big steakhouse guy,
Mm.
but I cooked the only tomahawk I've had I cooked myself, and it was maybe the best steak I ever had.
Mm.
Cooked it at home on the grill. Yeah, absolutely amazing. But a couple of the restaurants around here, tomahawks are going for like 75 to 100-ish.
Damn.
Serves about 2 people. I buy tomahawks at Sam's Club. Pretty cheap. They're about $12 a pound now. So you get a nice tomahawk for like 30, $36. Bring it home and have plenty of leftovers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably got it for on sale or something like that, or maybe they were just having a special or something like that. But it was around that price, and it was, I mean, it's just juicy and fucking that medium rare and the gravy and blah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a hole in the wall kind of guy. It's weird. I'm not a big fine dining guy, but then like I am kind of. So like I went to Barcelona and ate my way through Barcelona, and I insisted I had to go to El Bulli was the #1 restaurant in the world for like 20 years straight, and it's outside of Barcelona, Spain. They did a 50-course dining menu, and it sold out a year in advance, and it was like several $100s, and it was a destination, #1 restaurant in the world. So they closed down only because of like when you're the #1 restaurant in the world and you're doing a 50-course tasting menu, you got to be a little like loose. So he closed down because he like said he couldn't like innovate anymore and like mad scientist type shit. And him and his brother, it was Albert Adria and Ferran Adria. He's known as the #1 chef to like ever exist. They opened up another restaurant in Barcelona called Tickets. And when I went to Barcelona, I insisted I had to go their #1 experience in maybe my dining experience ever. Tickets is 1 Michelin star, but it's the only 1 Michelin star that's in the top 50 restaurants of the world. And it's called Tickets because it's kind of like a show. So the front door is like a box office, and you go in there. All the dishes are very showy and over the top. Ferran Adria was the inventor of like the scientific, like, what's the word? It's like
gastronomical.
Yeah, whatever. So everything's like deconstructed and blown up and freeze dried and frozen and all the crazy whacked out shit.
Yeah.
We had 16 courses, and they've been on every show, Anthony Bourdain, Jose Andres, and it's one of the best restaurants in the world. And I went there and it was great. And then I went to Las Vegas in March, and we had to go to Bazaar Meats, which is one of the better steakhouses in the country. That's a Jose Andres steakhouse, and it's also very eccentric. Jose Andres, are you familiar with Jose Andres?
I know the name. I'm trying to put a face to it.
He's like a kind of a bigger. He does all the like charity work for all the national disasters all over the world, and he gives out food. He's like an older Spanish guy. He was an apprentice.
Oh, I know who I know who you're talking about.
So he was an apprentice at El Bulli for Ferran Adria, and he worked there for many years. And then when they closed, he started opening up his own restaurants. So he opened up like an El Bulli style steakhouse in Las Vegas, and it's called Bazaar Meats, like bizarre, like the animal bazaar, not like the weird bazaar, because they have all sorts of weird steaks and stuff, right? You can get like,
was it this guy?
I don't know, I can't see. There he is, Jose Andres. Yep. So Bazaar Meats in Las Vegas is this crazy ass steakhouse, and you can get steaks of all sorts of different animals from all over the world. But other than that, I haven't really gone to too many steakhouses. If I had to go to a steakhouse, I would go to the Old Homestead in Chelsea, New York, which is commonly known as maybe like top 5. Peter Luger's is probably the king, the top dog in Brooklyn, but it's a little too touristy. I think I would prefer to go to like Old Homestead. It's more like old school, less touristy. But even then, I've never been to Peter Luger's, and that's like it's like a food destination. That's like everybody goes to Peter Luger's. But you're paying like almost $100 for a steak. It's just,
yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
There's another spot that actually has good spice. I have to go there again. It's called Bricks. It's in Marlboro.
No, I never heard of it.
It's on, where Raccoon Saloon is?
I've heard of that.
Okay, so actually they do have good food, and it's a really, really old building. I mean, to the point where it should probably be closed down. I'm telling you, it does not pass safety regulations. But the food that comes out of there is the dishes itself is pretty good. But across the street is this place called Bricks, and they actually have some really spicy stuff, which I couldn't stop eating even though it was like really hot because it was still really good. On the other hand, back to what you were saying, kind of like those hole in the wall places. Yeah. I've been to Baltimore, where some of the biggest hole in the wall spots right next to the marina.
Yeah.
And oh man, the food was just
on. You're talking about Fells Point or the Inner Harbor?
I gotta ask Chris. Chris would know better than I would, but that's who I went to go see. And he was like, "Oh, I used to work down at the marina," and then he took us. We went to the Jets and Baltimore Ravens game, and that's another thing I do. I go from stadium to stadium. So this year I'll be going to Dallas,
Okay, cool.
and I we always find a place to eat. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta explore.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'll find out what the name of it was, but Baltimore had some pretty slamming food, man.
Yeah, so that's like another thing we didn't really touch on is I've been going kind of exploring cities up and down the East Coast for about 15 years now.
Mm.
And whenever I go to these, we would literally pick a couple cities every year and go on vacation, and I would research the hell out of all the food. So I've been to Baltimore several times. I've attacked many of restaurants in Baltimore. Um, Also, Baltimore is where one of the health
Sounds like you beat them up.
Baltimore is where one of the health food shows was. So I used to go there as a kid with
Oh,
my
cool.
parents, and my dad had a favorite crab house. So we used to go to O'Bricky's a lot. I think they closed already. I think they were open for like 50 years, and they recently closed. I could be wrong, but O'Bricky's is great. I think it was Miss Shirley's. It was like a brunch spot. There's a food hall in Baltimore. Lake trout, fried lake trout, is banging in Baltimore. It's not even trout. It's like some other fish. They just call it lake trout. Um, Chaps Pit Beef. Chaps Pit Beef is in a parking lot of a porn store. Um, God, they grill like roast beef and all sorts of meats over an open fire. Killer sandwiches stacked with just meat mountains.
Okay, I gotta ask you this question now that you mentioned this. Because I asked this question the other day and somebody looked at me like I was crazy. Have you ever had the meat sweats?
Yeah, I guess, right? But I
Like,
guess, yeah. But if you also, it could be sweats. Depends. If you eat too much of anything, you sweat, right?
yeah, but I've witnessed it and I've experienced it when I was in Mexico. I
Okay.
went to one of the Brazilian steakhouses down there.
Yeah, I love Brazilian steakhouses. Green
Yeah,
beans go, right?
yeah, cream means go, yeah. And dude, I think I had this is gonna sound terrible. I think I had maybe like a pound and a half or maybe even 2 pounds of meat.
Wow.
It was pretty bad. And then to the point where I'm just trying to drink water just so it would, slide down.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm starting to sweat. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Like, I couldn't move. I couldn't, like, that was the worst. But it tastes so good. You know what I mean? Like, all of it was really good
I
food.
think most of my meat sweats would be from chicken wings,
Okay.
but it's also because it's spicy, so could be the spice too.
Mm.
And you're like drunk, and you're like chicken wings, and you got like sauce everywhere. Yeah.
It all goes together.
But yeah, last year I ate my way through Miami, South Beach, and we've done Maine many times, Cape Cod, up and down Cape Cod, up and down Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, Charleston, Savannah, um, New York, Philadelphia, Boston. Very familiar with all those places. Went through Las Vegas this year. Really hit up some places out there. We've also me and my wife have been to maybe like 9 or 10 different Caribbean islands. Um, love going to the Caribbean. Love eating all the jerk chicken and patties and um, bacon sharks and cutters and flying fish balls and um, everything in the Caribbean has pigtails and I'm just a crazy. So I went to South Carolina last weekend. I get off the plane. The first thing within like a half hour, I stopped at this place and I got deep fried gizzards. Gizzards. And I'll tell you what, they were okay, but I wouldn't get them again. They're crunchy. They had like cartilage in them or something.
Yeah, I'm a gizzards guy.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I thought I was going
Yeah.
to freak you out.
No. I bought the packages with hearts and gizzards in them, and I would put them on a pan and just go at it. Throw a little Lowry on it,
Okay.
pepper, whatever. Just go at it.
It's supposed to be a southern. Are you from the South or something? Where'd you come
Mm,
from?
right, right here.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I got some gizzards first. I'm a sucker. And then I went to my aunt's house, and they live on a lake. We went off the boat, and I collected clams from the lake. It was a freshwater lake, and I collected clams. I brought them back to our house. I cooked them on the grill. Everybody thought I was gonna die. They're like, "The hell is wrong with you?" I'm like, "They're clams." And they're like, "They're freshwater clams. You can't eat those." And it's like, damn straight, I'm going. Well, fuck you, I'm gonna eat them. They're cooked. The fuck. I cooked them,
I
ate
got
them.
this. I
I
got this.
harvested my own clams. Doesn't get any fresher than that.
No, it doesn't.
I'm that guy, dude. I'll try anything. I say I'll try anything twice. That's my saying. First time I'm not sure, and then the second time I make my decision.
That's fair,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it gives you a little bit of leeway to, you know, the uncertainty kind of fades off after that first time.
Yeah. And that's for anything. Horseshoes, hand grenades, it doesn't matter. I'm not even gonna say that, any of that other stuff. Try anything.
Yeah, it's only clothes only works for horseshoes and hand grenades.
I
Other than
don't
that,
know.
everything's got to be spot on.
So yeah, so I actually started food blogging about 15 years ago, before Facebook, before Instagram,
Mm.
and I had a blogspot.com. It was at the time I didn't even think Instagram was a viable thing. It was like WordPress and Blogspot, and so it was called mobilemunchies.blogspot.com, and it was I used to just go around with my cell phone and take pictures of food. That's why I called it Mobile Munchies. Now, since then, Mobile Munchies has been stolen by a bunch of people. I should have like trademarked it.
No.
Yeah, but I got a little bit of traction. I did that for about 10 years. I had like 50,000 viewers and um, uh, unique hits, but that's not really viewers. But I went to like maybe I don't know 200 restaurants or something and blogged about it. And then I had kids and got married, and I kind of stopped. And then I started the group last year, and I kind of redid everything. So here I am again, and this time I'm doing better than last time. And
Well, I think it's like a reset, like you experience something. Like this is a perfect example of trying a dish for the second time. This is your
right,
second time doing it.
right, I dig that.
Yeah, I mean, you did it the first time, you experienced it, you're like, okay, and you came back to it, and it's like, not only just with that, but like with the coffee too. Like you knew what the coffee was, right, with your pop, but unfortunately, your pop is, you know, like the living legacy of it. Like you're carrying it back on, but this is your second dish of it. You know what I'm saying? This is your second cup. You know, and you're doing the same thing with the food, and I think it's I think that yeah, I think it's gonna fall exactly where it's supposed to fall, man. I think this is great.
Nice, I appreciate that. When I started the group, I kind of really I put together kind of like a business plan, like not like a business plan, but like a list of goals. I was listening to a lot of Gary Vee at the time, I guess.
My man,
Uh,
my man.
so my goal, and I verbally said this to my wife and my kids, my goal was to be on a TV network. Um, I want to have my own show on either like Food Network, Vice, Cooking Channel, TLC, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. There's a lot of like really small food shows on streaming services. Um, Netflix and Amazon picked up a ton of these food shows that like no one even watches. Like whatever. Um, Very specific, very random. But I
Mm.
said, you know what? That's my end game, right? my end game is I want to be I want to either get a job for a big food network or actually have my own show. And within the first 6 months, I got a job at the local newspaper. Um, I was writing the food column for Hudson Valley One. I don't know why I didn't mention this earlier, but so I was writing the food column for Hudson Valley One newspaper, based in Kingston. I did that for 6 months because of the food group, and they actually decided they were cutting me in December, and they said that they're restructuring and this and that. But I know that print is struggling. Print is struggling hard. Nobody buys newspapers anymore, and it's all online. So
On the line.
yeah, so I don't even want to be in print. Print's dead. Print's a dying breed. So like magazines, they're dying. Radios, in my opinion, radios. When I say radio, I mean like FM radio is like dying. Everything's online, right? So Spotify or iTunes or whatever. That's cool, but nobody listens to FM radio. I don't listen to the fucking radio. I actually have Sirius in my car, but
I,
I don't.
everybody's going to um, Howard Stern. I mean, Howard Stern started it.
Yeah. Oh, so my end goal, right? So I want to get a job at a TV network where I can go to and do what I want to do, which is food, and get paid enough to support my family doing it, right? I don't need to be rich. It's like Gary Vee, right? I am so happy right now doing what I want to do, and I'm making ends meet, and I'm paying my bills, and I have a little extra cash, but I'm doing what I love, and I've never been happier ever in my life.
That's good.
And it's so amazing. Like I never even thought it was possible. When I was working for my family, I was very depressed, and I didn't even realize I was depressed until I walked away. And when I walked away and started doing what I wanted to do instead of what my father wanted me to do,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I really started living for myself instead of living for my family's business. Um, and the personal growth just exploded. Um, a different person. It's amazing, and I recommend to anybody who has a passion, anybody who's scared to walk away from their 9 to 5. You won't regret it. Just go and do it. It's amazing. It might be.
Was it weird to understand that, like, that feeling of you being in the family business and depressed was normal? Like, after you found out that you were actually happier outside of it?
Was it a weird feeling?
Yeah, like knowing that you were depressed, but you didn't feel like you were probably in the right spot. You know what I mean? And then when you get out of that, you started to grow, right? You stepped away from it.
Right.
When you, in hindsight, when you look at it, was it kind of like, wow, like I thought that was normal, like I was supposed to feel that way?
Yeah. No. Definitely. You get jaded. You get used to it, and you get family. When you work for family, you get guilted into it too, and you feel a responsibility. You feel an obligation to be part of the family unit and to support the family and work. And that pressure can lead you in directions that you don't want to go in just because you feel like you have to. There's people stuck in those situations, and unfortunately, a lot of times the family will use that to their advantage. Oh, well, you'll definitely work. You can work on holidays or work 12-hour shifts. Oh, all because it's family and you have to and you're obligated to. And a couple of my friends who have grown up working for a family, as well as in my situation, uh, you actually get paid less. Um, they take advantage of you that way sometimes too. And this isn't for everybody. This is just me and somebody I know particularly that I can think of was a good friend of mine. You're working for your family and you're trying to make ends meet, and because they know that times are tough, and you're willing to take less than if they hire somebody off the street, just to get by, you know. So
Yeah.
it's tough, man. Um, but you know what? That's what set me up where I am today. You know, as much as stepping away was the best thing I ever did, but those 19 years are what gave me all these connections, all these networking, and you know, I know the business. I know the back end. I know the distributors. I know the wholesale. I know the trucking. I know the um, so that's what gives me a unique perspective when it comes to restaurants. Um, I've done the other side, right? Just kind of like, you know, like a chef would know the other side too. Um, you know, I'm not a chef, but I do know some of the logistics in running a business, in running a restaurants, and running small cafes, paying bills, getting deliveries, logistics of storing, refrigeration. Um, so I could kind of step in and, you know, take on some of those roles. I do some restaurant consulting for restaurants, kind of tell them how to tweak their menu or tweak their food and what I think would work better for them. Also for like social media and for specials. And just recently, I started consulting for a restaurant that's looking to go into Saugerties next year. It's actually a friend of mine, but we're putting our heads together. So I'm excited about that. You know, we're putting together menus and names and locations and um,
It's exciting. You
that's
know, like it really is.
yeah. It's it's in the baby. It's a baby right now. We're nursing it. We're it's incubating,
Fair enough.
but we've put together a business plan. It's just um, we have funding. It's just taking that next step is scary. I would just be on as a what's the word? I just brain fart. I'm just a consultant. I'm not, you know,
Consultant.
I'm not,
Okay, yeah.
I'm not owning the restaurant. I'm not owning the business. Um, they just want to use me for my ideas and my knowledge. And I'm helping them put together a menu and put together, you know, different flavors and logos and that type of thing. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's awesome. So I got my hands in a little bit of everything.
That's good though, man. It's exciting. It's just it's something that a little bit of everything that you love, and that's half the battle.
It's so much fun, but at the same time, I'm pulled in so many directions right now.
Yeah.
I can only give. I have two TikTok channels. I have five Instagrams that a lot of people don't even know about.
I found I found number two on you. I'm working my way.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
what's number two?
I think it's yours. I think it's just yours.
Yeah, there's my personal, my photography, my food, my dogs,
I don't have the dogs yet.
and then there's one that nobody knows about that is a future business endeavor. No, I have six. I have Tiny Dog Coffee, and then
Wow,
there's another one
this
that's just
fucking
a
guy.
reserve for future business endeavor. I already have a logo and a name. We just don't know how we're going to use it. Um, I just feel like my brain races 24/7, and I come up with all these ideas, and I feel like I should just get paid for my ideas. I don't even need to do anything. So
I,
it's
dude, I still write mine down in a black book.
right, exactly.
I still actually pen the paper, write it down.
I have about 3 pages of for three different food truck ideas, whole
Mm,
business plans, logos, menus, you know, everything,
that's
prices.
pretty. That's pretty cool. Oh, a girl that I went to high school with actually just won, I think, best food truck in the Hudson Valley recently.
Which one was that?
Empanada Mama.
Oh yeah, yeah, I follow them.
Yeah. So she went to Beacon.
She's over in like Wappingers, right?
Yeah, over near that area.
Yeah, I want to check them out. Looks good.
Dude, after this summer, I'm gonna have to drag you a little bit into the Beacon area.
I have a couple of spots I hit up in Beacon.
What you got?
Well, the number one no obvious answer is glazed over. Glazed over.
So he's actually coming on the podcast.
Okay, cool.
Um, I went to school with his son. He was the wrestling coach.
Glazed over is killer. It's good stuff. Um,
Guaranteed to put you in a coma.
um, I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. I went to Mud Club because it's their second location. The original Mud Club is in Woodstock. Man, I got some opinions about that place. I don't know.
Mud Club. Where's that one?
They just opened like 3 months ago.
Okay.
It's right on Main Street, right? Is that what it's called? Main Street.
I'll have to take another walk.
Dude, I got a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel and one croissant. It's $32.
Did it come with like?
It wasn't even sit down. It's a bagel place. It's like to go. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel is 15, and a croissant was 15 plus tax. $32.
Get out of here.
Yeah, check it out when you walk by.
I don't even want to look that direction. I feel like money will just go that direction if I look.
And then you got the Hudson Valley Food Hall, which is cool.
My buddy actually owns that.
Okay.
Marco.
Do some. We got to go over there. Introduce me.
Yeah, Marco's a cool dude, man. And actually, his brother is Lupe Fiasco's manager.
That's random.
Really, but he's also Clint Dempsey. I think Clint Dempsey's manager from the soccer team. Or I mean, I don't think he's part of USA anymore, but and then he's also Futura, who is a graffiti artist. He's also his manager. And if you've ever looked at Instagram, it's at It's a Living. He does all of these. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. He does all of these crazy artistic, just like.
Can you delete?
Yeah. I'll show you real quick. There we go. And we will share screen. So like stuff like this. So homeboy does. It's taking a second. You can still see me, right?
Yep.
And you see what I'm showing you?
What is that, an art piece?
Yeah, I'll show you real quick. It's loading. So he does all that kind of stuff.
In Beacon?
He did it above the restaurant.
Yeah, I've seen that style in Beacon before.
Yeah, and then after that, he just went worldwide, dude. He does stuff in Korea, Japan, China, Mexico, you name it. He's an animal with it. And
well, there's that other Ron English is from Beacon, right?
I don't know if he's from there. I don't think he's from there. I think he just made his way down there.
Okay, yeah, that's funny.
I could be wrong though. But I mean, how old is he? Because I grew up in Beacon. I don't remember that name.
I think he's like 50 or 60. He's like old, isn't he?
Okay. Way to call everybody old.
Sorry, I'm 41. Yeah, the first time I heard about Ron English was I didn't know he was in Beacon either. I used to collect like Dunnies, like Kid Robot,
Mhm.
vinyl toys. He did a bunch of vinyl toys for Kid Robot. Um,
Mm.
I'm into
There's
that
a,
street
there's
stuff.
a couple cool spots over there. A couple of the art things over there is pretty cool, and actually, there is also a little bit of graffiti artists. Res Res One and Riz Boogie. Have you ever heard of these two?
I heard Res One.
Yeah. So they, I met them about a decade ago, and she showed me how he taught her how to graffiti a portrait. It's just like right on the, like, how to line up the eyes down to the jawline, the cheekbones, all that stuff, and it was just like, you know, 7 foot by 7 foot, and just like graffiti it. And now they have a spot all the way in the city next to the old Twin Towers that I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe that it's funded by the New York City now. Like, that's how far they got.
It's awesome.
I'll
There's,
tag you in a couple of their stuff. Like, they're always still back in Poughkeepsie all the time.
there's a big there's a famous graffiti artist from Kingston, Ewok.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Ewok. He did a bunch of Kid Robot stuff, and then they put in there's a train museum in Kingston, and they took one of the subway cards from 9/11 and they put it down in Kingston, and then they let Ewok tag it.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
So it's all tagged up, and he's kind of like probably the most famous graffiti guy from Kingston, at least. Not that Kingston's
That's
big.
pretty cool. There's a lot of talent here in the Hudson Valley, man.
Yeah, we go to like Dia, the Dia Beacon, like once a year or so. And
Yeah.
Massamoka. You ever been to Massamoka?
Mm-mm.
It's an art museum up in uh, middle of Massachusetts somewhere. I forgot the name of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not Pittsfield. A little north of Pittsfield. It's really dope though. You should check it out. You can get free tickets from the library too. That's how you do it, man.
I've heard this. I have heard these. Yep. You check it out and then you use it and you bring it back, right?
Yeah, tickets to all sorts of art museums.
Uh-huh. uh,
I
I think I'm going to be going to the Museum of Illusion.
Where's
I
that?
think it's in Manhattan.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, like it's everything's supposed to be an illusion and stuff. So I'm gonna be going there. I went to Wolf. What is it? Coyote. What is it? It was
Coyote.
in Colorado. But
Oh, I went to Mao Wolf.
Meow Wolf. Yes, yes.
Oh, you
Sorry.
went? Yeah, I went to that.
Yeah, I went to the one in Colorado.
Oh, yeah, there's one in Denver. I went to the
Yeah,
one in Vegas.
is that the one with the
Omega,
grocery?
yeah, Omega Mart.
I gotta try that one.
Wait, you haven't gone? Look, vegan goat pus from Omega Mart, and then I got Omega Cola. There we go. Well, I'm trying to figure out. And then I got what else did I get from Omega Mart? I don't even know. I got a poster at my job of all sorts of the meats of the world. No, yeah, Malwolf. It's crazy.
It definitely was. Had me thinking twice.
My banner on my Facebook page is Omega Mart.
Is it?
If you ever go to my Facebook page. Um,
I'll have to. I gotta get everything back. I gotta get a Facebook back, but
you don't have Facebook?
I took it. It's too political for me
All right.
personally, But talking from a guy who doesn't vote.
No, that's all right. I vote third party. Everybody hates
There
me.
you go. So you would vote for me?
Sure. Um, I think I'm gonna just try to wrap it up here, Brian.
Yeah, man.
So I got Ulster Eateries Unfiltered on Facebook.
Nice.
Check it out if you want
I
some
like
local food reviews, get-togethers, giveaways. We talk about food. We go to restaurants. We eat. We that's what we do. That's how we live. Ulster Eaters Unfiltered VIP discount card, $10. UlsterEatersUnfiltered.com. Coffee's coming out soon. I'll be at Hickory Barbecue on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Come through, get yourself a free bag of coffee. Enjoy some barbecue. Say hello. I'd love to meet you. I'll see Brian on the 4th of July. I'm doing a pig roast. Unfortunately, I can't invite all you guys. Having a lot of fireworks, having a lot of fun, but I'll be sure to post photos.
good photos at that.
AboveWeddings.com for all your wedding photography needs. Tiny Dog Coffee coming soon. Look at that. Look at that. B.overly delicious on Instagram. You see what I did there with my name?
I did. I was very impressed.
Okay.
See, I had these things ready for you, man.
I see that. That's dope. This is kind of a test run. I appreciate it, man. I've never done this before.
I'm still working out the kinks on this too, so
yeah, maybe we put our heads together. We could do it again. I got some other chefs that would love to come on. We could do like a round table kind of thing or something. And,
I'm so down for that, man.
All right,
so
cool.
Down for that.
And we'll plan something. I'll talk to you soon. I'll definitely, I'll talk to you tomorrow or tonight or whatever. And thanks everybody who tuned in. Somebody just said hi. I'm assuming we're gonna post. I'll post this in a couple days or something. Or
This is gonna go right on right now.
I'll post it for anyone who wants to see it and wants to watch 2.5 hours of our nonsense. See, I think we should do this. Let's do this in person with Tiny Dog Coffee.
Let's do that. Yeah, we can do that.
But you said you don't like coffee.
No, but I could. No. It's not that I don't like coffee. It's just that I don't have it often.
Okay.
But I can drink coffee.
I could bring some on the 4th of July.
Let's do that. I'm down. And you know who does like coffee? It's Luscious. Luscious likes coffee.
Luscious. Is that Sean?
Yeah. That's how I met Sean as a male stripper. So we'll leave that one for another time. But Bover, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the platform. Of course,
man. You're always welcome on the show. And so I will see you next week.
All right. Good night, guys. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Later.